The problem we all recognize. Every year, millions of people make New Year's resolutions with genuine intentions: eating healthier, studying more, improving their fitness, or controlling their habits. Yet year after year, the same cycle repeats: excitement in the beginning, inconsistency in the middle, and disappointment toward the end. To understand this pattern clearly, let's use one simple example throughout. Example we will use. A person decides on January 1st that they will wake up at 5 a.m. every day to transform their life. We'll break the entire psychology of failed resolutions using only this example. 1. We set goals based on emotion, not reality. On January 1st, the emotional energy is extremely high. People feel refreshed, inspired, and optimistic. This positive mood makes them create goals that match how they feel in the moment, not how they actually live. In our example, waking up at 5 a.m. sounds powerful because your emotions are elevated. You feel hopeful. You feel motivated. You feel ready to change everything at once. But emotions fluctuate. Your lifestyle does not change instantly. Most people go back to school, work, daily stress, late nights, and responsibilities. The emotional high disappears, and suddenly the goal becomes unrealistic. This is why resolutions collapse, because the goal was created during a temporary emotional peak, not during an ordinary day. 2. We underestimate the force of existing routines. Human behavior is built on routines. These routines are extremely powerful because they operate automatically. Your usual sleep time, your morning habits, your comfort patterns, your energy levels. Our example person says, starting tomorrow, I'll wake up at 5 a.m. But for years, they've been waking up at 7:30 or 8 a.m. Their body, mind, and internal clock are not designed to make a sudden shift. This is the conflict. New Year goals require sudden transformation. But human behavior works through gradual adaptation. The resolution fails not because the goal is bad, but because the person tries to jump from level 0 to level 10 in one step. 3. We depend on motivation instead of systems. Motivation is strong on day 1. But by day 5 or day 10, it fades, because all emotions fade. When the alarm rings at 5 a.m. after a long school day, after late night assignments, or after a stressful week, a person doesn't ask, "What were my goals? What did I write in my notebook?" They ask, "How do I feel right now?" Without a system, motivation has nothing to hold on to. A system for waking up early might look like sleeping earlier, reducing screen time at night, placing the alarm far away, planning morning tasks in advance. But most people never build systems. They only rely on enthusiasm. That is why resolutions break so easily, because they were never supported by consistent structure. 4. We make transformational goals instead of behavioral goals. There are 2 types of goals. Transformation goals. I'll become a morning person. I'll transform my life. I'll completely change my habits. These sound great, but they are too vague and too large. Behavioral goals. I'll wake up 15 minutes earlier this week. I'll sleep before midnight 3 days this week. These are realistic, measurable, and frictionless. In our example, the person tries to become a 5 a.m. person instantly. But waking up earlier is not a transformation, it is a behavior. Behaviors take time to reshape. New Year resolutions fail because they are romantic ideas, not concrete behavioral changes. 5. The goal is too big, but the identity is too weak. This is the core psychological reason. People try to change their actions without changing their identity. The example person says, "I want to wake up at 5 a.m. But deep inside, they still believe, "I'm not a morning person. I know I struggle with consistency. I always give up after a few days." When your identity contradicts your goal, your identity wins. This is why many people start strong but fall back into old patterns. To succeed, the identity must shift first. I am becoming someone who wakes up earlier. I am improving slowly, but consistently. Identity supports discipline. Discipline supports habits. Habits support results. But most resolutions jump directly to the results, skipping the entire foundation. 6. We try to change too much too quickly. Sudden change triggers resistance. When you attempt a radical shift, your brain sees it as a threat to stability. In our example, waking up at 5 a.m. touches multiple systems: sleep cycle, mood, hormones, productivity, energy levels. When you try to change all of this overnight, your brain pushes back. This is why people wake up at 5 a.m. for 2 or 3 days, then crash hard. It is not a lack of willpower, it is the brain protecting stability. Slow change is sustainable. Fast change is fragile. 7. We don't track or review our progress. Most resolutions fail silently because they aren't monitored. In our example, the person does not track how many days they succeeded. Track what made waking up easier. Track what made it harder. Review their progress weekly. Without tracking, you lose awareness. Without awareness, you lose consistency. Without consistency, the habit collapses. Tracking creates accountability, even if it's just a simple checklist. Conclusion: why resolutions fail, and how to fix them. Using the single example of waking up at 5 a.m., you can see why most New Year plans collapse. They are based on emotion, not reality. They fight against existing routines. They depend on motivation instead of systems. They are transformational instead of behavioral. They don't align with identity. They are too drastic, too fast. They are not tracked or reviewed. If you want your next resolution to actually last, remember: small steps, supported by systems, repeated consistently, aligned with identity. This is how real change happens. New Year is a date, not a transformation engine. The real power lies in what you do daily, not what you declare once a year.